Thank you, Chairman Sessions, Ranking Member McGovern, and the members of the committee. Always appreciate the chance to appear and appreciate your attention to the amendment brought by our members. Today, I want to talk about H.R. 4, the FAA Reauthorization Bill. My amendment is simple, but the reason I appear today is anything but simple. Since 2016, my office has been working with the Little Rock Port Authority and the FAA to relocate the Little Rock Very High Frequency Omnidirectional Range with Co-Located Tactical Air Control Navigation Cone at Little Rock National Airport. I won't repeat that again. I'll just refer to it as the VOR cone. It's essentially the navigation aid for aircraft, and the FAA is phasing out these cones all across the country. But the cone located at Little Rock National will not be retired because Little Rock Air Force Base is a training base for the C-130 program, and the Air Force still needs this older technology for training for the H-Series C-130. The Air Force and the base are supporting the effort I'm here tonight talking to you about. This VOR cone is located directly south of the Little Rock Port property, and there are strict height limitations within certain distances of every VOR cone that prevent the port from expanding and developing its land to the south. To the south is the only direction the port can expand due to the Arkansas River and the airport. The port is a major economic engine for Central Arkansas. 49 businesses located there employ 4,000 people with $5 billion of economic impact over the past decade. Moving this VOR cone will create jobs and private investment opportunities for billions in the Central Arkansas economy. We've been working with the Port Authority, the FAA, and other local stakeholders to move the VOR cone since July of 2016. We've had many phone conversations with the FAA and local stakeholders, as well as a meeting with Senator John Bozeman, all between federal and state local officials. Despite the success we thought we'd achieved in meeting with the FAA still seems unwilling to budge and even start the process to relocate this asset. However, with the help of Chairman Schuster and his capable committee staff, we were finally able to secure an agreement in writing from the FAA to work with local stakeholders on this project, and they finally signed a reimbursable agreement for $100,000 to start the process in October 2017. Just this past March, our local stakeholders attended a meeting at the FAA regional office in Dallas, Texas, and I was told it was a very productive meeting. However, just 2 weeks ago, in the monthly conference call with the FAA, all the good progress that's been made over the past month has been reversed. There were new requirements and new issues brought up in the call that had never been discussed in the previous meetings or conference calls, such as the size of the relocation site, the distance of the relocation site can be from the current cone, and how the FAA wants to use this opportunity to update the VOR cone. These, of course, are all important considerations, but they were either different from the previous discussions or were not relevant to the current work that the FAA should be doing. From the point of view of my office and our local stakeholders in Little Rock, it appears that the FAA keeps moving the requirements to the point that this will be impossible to achieve. That's why I worked with the Aviation Subcommittee staff to draft this amendment to require the FAA to report on the status of this project, including the efforts to move the VOR cone, the long-term and short-term budget projects, a description and timeline of each phase, the location radius, and the description of the work that the FAA has completed as of the date of this report. By making my amendment germane and allowing this amendment to be debated on the House floor, and hopefully with my colleagues' support included in the final FAA bill, we can ensure accountability of the FAA, get on with this project to relocate the VOR cone to a suitable location, and finally be able to expand the Little Rock Port footprint, which will help economic growth and well-being for the community and the 2nd Congressional District of Arkansas. I thank you for the opportunity to testify and be prepared to answer your questions.
Thank you very much. By the way,